All right. Firstly, I want to re-emphasize on the economic costs of the draft. The advocate kind of just got my numbers wrong. He might have heard me wrong, but I said that the Government Accountability Report estimates that draft will cost would add, on top of what we're paying already, $4 billion in annual costs to the DoD. So the Department of Defense would have to be asking for $4 billion more every year just so they can maintain draft and make it fair and all that stuff. So, like I said before, because it costs about $6,500 to recruit one Marine, it would if we had a draft. Just to make a definition, conscription is just it's synonymous to a draftee, just to let you guys know. So if I use that term, don't get all thrown off. So when all is said and done, like I said, because they need, benefits. They need to, like, if you guys, anybody had military parents, the commissary, the base exchange, TRICARE, all those benefits that bases supply is paid for by the government. All of that stuff adds up for each person. So when you add all that stuff up, it's going to cost the DoD around $250,000 for one person from one conscript. So when I'm saying, we can't really evade those costs, even if we do have an all-volunteer force, we will have to pay those benefits. But you have to think about it as an investment. If it's an all-volunteer force, they came on their own. They want to serve in the military. They're going to serve, excuse me. They're going to serve probably more than 2 years, which is the minimum for what a conscript would have to serve. So if we did have a draft, most conscripts would probably just, all right, fine, I'll serve my 2 years and get right out. If that's the mindset, people are going to be leaving every 2 years. That means we're going to have to be spending those $250,000 for one person. We're going to have to be spending that a lot more often, every 2 years, for a bunch of people who are leaving, as opposed to the all-volunteer force, who, if they're staying for a lot longer, like I said, we have many people who stay for 20 years, just for the simple fact that when they serve for 20 years, they can be pretty young when they're done retiring. People tend to do that. They have an income from retirement, and they can still young enough to get another job, and people do that very well. I know people personally who do that. So on a macroeconomic level, and I'm quoting two professors from a professor from the University of Helsinki and University of Vienna from May 2006. On a macroeconomic level, military conscription translates into substantial losses in GDP, gross domestic product. That's because all those people who could be working in the civilian force are being forced into the draft. So if a draft was enacted, the cost would increase as many more conscripts would leave after just the minimum time of service, causing the government to have to pay for more people a lot more constantly. And lastly, I just want to emphasize that one of our advocates claimed that the reason we're doing so well in recruiting is because we lowered our standards for recruits. I want to re-emphasize in one of my quotes earlier to prove to you that that is not true. Let me just find it real quick, and this will be my last quote of the day. All right. I said earlier, in 2005, only 2% of enlistments fell into the lower aptitude range. So if we're lowering our standards, how can only 2% be in the lower aptitude range? I don't see how that mathematically could work. So we are not lowering our standards. We are just getting as many people as we need for both the enlistment and the officer, as in professional soldier areas. Thank you very much.